Good morning, everybody. Sean Hewitt here from the Trusted Business Community Association. And today I'm joined by one of our newest premier partners of this association, Neil Grime, and he runs an organisation called the Tech Buyers Club. Neil comes to us with 35 years procurement experience, and IT products and equipment in business have always been either difficult to manage or secure, certainly at best value. This is why the Tech Buyers Club came into fruition and was launched by Neil to give the end user the opportunity to find the very best value for their office equipment. Neil, great to have you with me.
Pleasure to be here, Sean. Pleasure to be here.
Fantastic, my friend. Now, Neil, obviously people are going to be listening to this thinking, great value, IT, tech, that surely doesn't go together, but it does, doesn't it, at the Tech Buyers Club? So do you want to give us a little more meat round the bone so that those listening into us can understand exactly how this works?
Yeah, certainly. I'll first touch on the some of the problems that even I came across during all the 35 years I've been in procurement, both as an employee and as running my own consultancy business. And so Tech Buyers Club is probably about 18-month-old, but I've been working for myself as a consultant for coming up for 20 years. And the majority of that time I was doing project work, and occasionally IT products came up, but it was always, and all that work was done what's called a contingent basis. So it's all performance related. But there was always a barrier to developing the IT product, and it's really, unfortunately, down to the supply base. There's a lot of resistance for transparency in the supply base. People want clarity on the and to try to control excessive profiteering from the supply base as well. So during that work, I came across a licensed product that's out there on the open market. This is not software that I've developed. It's a license that the business has invested in and continues to invest in, because I saw it as an opportunity to help SMEs that are not spending, massive amounts of money on an annual basis on IT products, to help them generate better value, because basically they wouldn't know if they were or were not. They're just making that assumption that they are. And it provides a suite of benefits for myself and obviously for our clients. But the main benefit that it provides is it gives us, myself and the people in our business, the visibility of what the resellers are buying at in the wholesale market, in the distributor market. That's where the resellers go for their products for them then to sell on to their clients. So I can see on a daily basis what an item costs for the resellers. So what does that do? Well, basically, it allows me then to tell a potential client what margins their suppliers are making from their purchases. Now, and this has not been set by me. This has been set by the industry, organisations in the industry. That the acceptable gold standard margin for IT products is around 3 to 5%. And some of the analysis that I've seen, not always the case, but some of the highest values that I've seen in excess of 400%.
Wow.
Yeah.
400%.
Yeah. The vast majority of organisations will not be getting good value. Not all suppliers are charging that level of value. They can't do it, but it's usually mainly on low value items. People will buy a product that probably costs less than £20, and an organisation, even a small business, won't necessarily interrogate that for into any great detail. It's just a small value. It's a small value purchase to them, but unfortunately, it's them sort of items where the bigger higher margins really occur, and it's the products that organisations tend to buy on a recurring basis throughout the year. They'll have repeat purchases, and that's another problem that I come across, because the supply base will take advantage of movements. Prices are moving on a constant basis every day. I see, when I go into our system, I see at least 10,000 price changes every day.
Wow.
10,000 products have changed price every day, and that can go as high as 30,000. So it'll be really hard, even if people have this information, to keep track of every item, to understand what value they're getting. So it's the initial stage for me from when I get somebody interested is to do some retrospective analysis. Because I don't make any assumptions that I'll be able to deliver better value to anybody. We might find that they're getting good value. And to be honest, on a couple of occasions over the last 18 months, that's all, I have found one or two organisations getting, around 4 or 5, 6% margin. So yes, while we would be able to improve it slightly, it wouldn't warrant their investment in the subscription service that we provide. So I just said, stay where you are, carry on what you're doing. If you want to revisit again in a few months' time, that's fine, no problem at all. It's still totally free of charge. And it just makes sure that their supplier base has not changed their practices and that they're still providing, a very good value. So I want to do that initial review. So all a potential client needs to give me is the list of suppliers that they're using, their contact details, and we just arrange a simple letter of authority that allows me then, to contact those suppliers. I then obtain the data that I need. I put it through our sausage machine, our portal, and it analyzes those purchases, and it takes into account the actual day it was purchased on. So then it can go back into the records, see what the wholesale price, the distributor price was, and then obviously calculates a margin that the client was charged by their supplier on that particular purchase. So it's very, very detailed.
May I ask then? So someone, let's say one of these, and I understand the mindset of the biggest percentages, like the 300%, 400% are going to be on the smaller products, because we're looking at the pound value and we think, oh, that's all right, 20 quid. That's only 20 quid. So you can get away with that if you're that kind of business wanting to have those kind of margins. So if a business was to come to you, and I'm just trying to explain it, obviously, for everyone to get a grip of what it is. So you find out, you put it through the old sausage machine, as you said, and it spits out, says, "Oh, this is quite this company are charging quite a high percentage over the wholesale value of what they got it for." Do you go to the business that's charging that to talk to them about bringing their prices down, or do you find someone else for that client for them to do exactly what they're doing, but for less for a better value?
We have a few guarantees. One of the guarantees is if we do identify reductions, we'll guarantee to deliver them one way or the other. We have two routes on that. The first step is to renegotiate with current suppliers. And you'll be surprised, actually, the vast majority are receptive to that. Once they know that you have that level of information, pretty much they know the game's up, unfortunately. They say, well, they know what we're buying at. Yes, we'll talk. And obviously, it'll depend from supplier to supplier. Unfortunately, there are some, I'm not going to name names, but there's one or two big national suppliers that just basically have walked away from business. Just will not engage, will not renegotiate. They just move on to the next, unfortunately, the next unfortunate business and go and fleece them, unfortunately. But we have, in the majority of cases, there's been some caveats, like you say, some suppliers will turn around, we'll supply it 3%, but we want all the business, and that's fine. On the other side of the coin, some potential clients have told me, said, well, I'm worried if we upset our supply base and they all walk away. I said, well, it's very unusual, but it is possible. But we have a fallback position, because the organisation that provides this, that I purchase this license from on an annual basis, also has a supply arm. And they will guarantee, we have a guarantee that they will supply anybody at 3% margin. So we've got that fallback position should we need it. If the current supply base don't play ball and they're not prepared to renegotiate, and they want to lose all the business, that's fine. We were able to set up our clients with the alternative supply source, and that's a national supply source as well.
Right. So obviously in the technology world, let's use the technology because obviously IT is quite a broad spectrum, but in the technology world,
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the types of things that you can, like the items that we would use, like laptops, printers, those sort of things. What is it that you get involved with?
Unfortunately, that's one of the immediate things people think of when you say tech products. Everybody goes to the big ticket items.
Yeah.
And yes, they're obviously on the list.
Yeah.
But you can start at a simple mouse.
Right.
That's a tech product for me. A mouse mat, a keyboard, all the cables, all the connectivity, printer cartridges, printer ribbons. The actual printers, audio visual. There's a vast range of products. Probably at any one time, there's probably around 180,000 live products on the portal, and obviously that will not cover everything as well. When we do have, there's a vehicle called product support as well. So if somebody has an item that's not on the the information that we have access to on a daily basis, we can get it added and find out, confirm what the wholesale price is on that day, and then that'll be added to the system, and then it'll refresh every day and update every day.
Awesome. It's interesting what it's interesting because you don't always expect a business like yours to be out there in that marketplace, being that go-between to make sure people aren't being, you would use the word and I would use it openly as well, fleeced. Especially at 300-400% above the wholesale rate.
There's other benefits it can bring as well.
Please explain.
So what the initial analysis shows is, and I mentioned repeat purchases earlier on, and that's where the market can be manipulated. Just this week, I've analysed some data, and it was a reasonable value item, but it was a printer for just a standard printer for an office, but it was around a few hundred quid. About £400, over £400 they paid for it, and the client had bought one in July, and then they bought another two just earlier in about middle of August. And to them, they paid the same price as they had in July, and unbeknown to them, that was good value. Great. Price has not changed, because everybody immediately think as time passes by, prices just go up. But unbeknown to them, the wholesale price had come down by more than £100 in that period of time. Now the supplier should have passed that on, and it would have been passed on if we would have picked that up, and it would have been passed on if they'd have sourced it through ourselves. But obviously the supplier didn't pass it on, and they managed to inflate their margin to over 70-odd%. Right. So that's what they take advantage of. And on the other side of the coin, prices do go up on a daily basis, but they don't keep them a secret, because soon as they do go up, they
push the price up quickly enough.
They pass them on and a bit more besides.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
So they can work both sides of the coin to their advantage.
And somebody like you, that sort of
we would pick that up. I
get why the secret the secret service is now in there. And it's like you are that person in the middle, just making sure you're protecting everyone's benefit to get the best value for any of their solutions that they need in the office, whether it be print cartridges, the mouse, or cabling, or even the high ticket items, like you said, printers and laptops and desktops.
And it's about saving time as well, because we want to save them money, and that's why we do that initial analysis, because we want a guarantee. One of our guarantees is that we want a return on investment of 6 months or less. So whatever service costs, I want them to recover at least that within at least 6 month period. And then the remaining year, they're over and above what we've cost them.
Yeah, brilliant.
Um,
Neil, this has been really, really interesting. And I tell you what, I should imagine people are going to be starting to think, I think I need to get hold of Neil because we need to make sure we're not paying over the odds here. So if they want to get hold of you, Neil, how do and where do they find you?
yeah, there's plenty of places you can find me. Obviously, I'm in the directory of the Trusted Business Network now as being a regional partner. Heavily on LinkedIn. Obviously, all my social media's on there. But major platform for us is LinkedIn, where we've been on there for quite some time now. So well established on LinkedIn. Obviously, I have a website, www.techbuyersclub.co.uk. And obviously, my email address is neil@techbuyersclub.co.uk.
Brilliant. And if you do, just in case you do want to find him on LinkedIn, it's Neil James Grime that you're looking out for. Okay, that's the one to put in because it's quite a popular name, Neil, to be honest with you. There's quite a few of you, but there's only one Neil James Grime, and he's our premier partner of the association. And we're really proud to have him on board because we're all about support. We're all about making sure that the end user experience has value. And if there's one person who can create that value, it's Neil from the Tech Buyers Club. Neil, thank you for joining me. I really appreciated this opportunity to interview you today. For those listening in, please do not forget to like and subscribe below so that you can pick up not just this one and revisit it, but you can also see all of the other interviews that we've done and we will be doing in the future. Till next time, guys, thank you so much for obviously listening in to Neil and myself. And Neil, once again, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Sean, for the opportunity. It's been great.
It has, and it's really been an eye-opener for me as well. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.